Hello friends, today I would like to talk to you all, so please gather round, about jumper projects in Rise of Kingdoms. Somebody came into one of my streams the other day and mentioned they had 1100 players ready to join their jumper project. And it kind of got me thinking, that's pretty bad in my opinion. 1100 is too many. And I wanted to go into why I think jumper projects have changed, why I think jumper projects might not be the best start anymore, and talk about what I think and a good alternative is to get a good head start at the beginning of the game. So this was posted in the 1093 recruitment Discord a week or so ago, basically saying, it's got long, you can read it, it's in the 1093, it's available for everyone, that kingdom power trends have completely changed, and basically the average power of a kingdom has dropped so much in the last 3 years, and as that is used for matchmaking, they seem to have this opinion, which I share actually, that there is something of a race to the bottom. An unsustainable race to the bottom, which is a fantastic way of putting it. Looking at the power trends over the past years, the average seed power in all seed tiers has dropped to full tier. The average A seed power is now lower than the average B seed power in December 2022, before the Otarks are added. Soon, the Imperium floor enter the A seed power from 2022. What will average seed power look like 1 year from now if this collapse continues? It's a really interesting read. I would advise everyone to have a look. Perhaps you've been able to have a look what it's on the screen now, but if you go into the 1093 recruitment station open Discord, there's some really interesting information about it. I would advise everyone to have a look. Chisgold did a video on it as well, which is a really good one. It's a good read. So it makes me think. So we've got this unsustainable race to the bottom. I've experienced it myself in my kingdoms. You get to a stage where you're like, right, we're now higher power than kingdoms around us who are stronger, so we want to get lower our power as quickly as possible, which kind of flies in the face of established wisdom and sort of the logical feedback in these games where you want more power, because if you have more power, you have stronger players, and therefore you'll win easier. But of course, power takes a big backseat to kill points or fighting prowess later in the game, when someone with 100 million power who doesn't fight, I can find some of those, is basically useless to the kingdom because they put their matchmaking rate up and their actual fighting prowess down. But now we come to a jumper project. So I'm going to get on the screen again, a jumper project. I've got some good guys I've just been invited to join, and we'll have a look at what a jumper project is actually doing and talk about whether or not I think it's a good way forward now. Okay, so this is one such project I've been invited to called Project Divinity, starting on August the 1st, I believe, aiming for Kingdom 3609. So the idea here, from what I've seen, they want 2 main alliances, strong third support alliance, rank 4 to 6 alliances built as well. So eventually you've got 150 members per alliance. That's 6 times 150, that's 900 members. That's a lot of members. Let's say they'll get less than that. Let's say they get 450. So they're going to get 450 members in this, which comes with a load of benefits. I'm just using this as an example. There's many such jump projects I get invited to. This seems like a well thought out one and a nice way of segueing into what the advantages of a jump project are. So, in order, I've written a script. KVK1 usually have a great chance of winning. Jumper projects tend to be quite well organized. They tend to attract a lot of players who are either willing to spend or looking to jump on the spending bandwagon. If you've played the game for a while and you want to restart an account, you tend to join a jumper project, usually because if you play for a while, you know that they are the established best way of playing. Why they're the best way of playing? Well, you're basically playing with a load of other players who are going to spend as well. So the gold chest potential is really high. So it's great in the short term for whales who are spending, but have other people spending as well, so they feel better and they get more gold chests. And of course, free-to-play or low spenders who need those gold chests at the beginning of the game to really grow and keep pace with everyone else. Knowledgeable leaders tends to be another thing. You don't get many people who are first-time rock players setting up a jumper alliance. It comes with knowing quite a bit about the game, knowing about the game mechanics. So you tend to get people who are looking to establish control over a kingdom, who perhaps have done it before or feel that they are ready to do so. And leadership is very important in Rise of Kingdoms. So you get that benefit. As I said, KVK1, you've got a great chance of winning because you've got a well-organized, usually very powerful kingdom. So you've got a great chance of winning that star. And if they're players for 5 years, there's usually amongst the ranks some players with powerful accounts they're looking to bring into a newer kingdom for KVK2, or they know how to do the dark art of buying accounts and buy accounts, bring over very powerful KVK2 accounts. There are really a lot of benefits to joining a jump project. However, let's return to this unsustainable race to the bottom, this fantastic quote from the 1093 Discord, which is at the crux of everything. So, KVK1 is all about power. You are matched against the three kingdoms around you. You're in a 4-kingdom bracket. It doesn't matter if one of them has 80 billion power and the other has 1 billion, you're still matched together. So logically, the most important thing in KVK1 is having a lot of power. Sadly, that changes very quickly, because from KVK2 onwards, it's all about matchmaking. KVK2, 3, and 4, the first season of Conquest story KVK, are all about matchmaking in the kingdoms around you, whether that's the 16 kingdom bracket, the 64 kingdom bracket, I forget exactly, but it's matchmaking within this rubric. And then from KVK 5 onwards, it's matchmaking against the entirety, of all the kingdoms in Rock, from 1001 to 3537 and onwards. So logically, the idea is to gain as much power for KVK1 as possible, secure a win, and let's be honest, most good jumper projects do win KVK1. They usually know what they're doing better than other non-jumper project kingdoms, and they win quite easily. If there's 2 jumper projects, which is often the case, it's usually the one with the most power. But from KVK2 onwards, things change. That chap who's been buying gold chest after gold chest, pushed up to 80 million power and then decided, fighting's not for me in KVK1. He doesn't look so appealing KVK2 onwards, where matchmaking is everything. So we've got this dichotomy at the heart of everything, where you want to gain early power, you want to get yourself an excellent KVK1 result, but then you want to stop gaining power. And you want to, instead of having 700 mediocre accounts of the kingdom, or maybe 10 really good ones and 690 sort of players who play a bit, you want top-end players. And therefore, that's where I think jumper projects really struggle at the moment, because at the beginning, it's more the merrier. Let's recruit, let's get people in. We want numbers, because early on in the game, numbers and power is everything. But then it becomes the exact opposite, where numbers and power are everything to avoid. And in fact, the reason I keep coming back to this unsustainable race to the bottom is exactly what it is in older kingdoms. Like, it's constant deadweight zeroing, it's constant DKP requirements, and making sure the bottom rung, the people with power who don't fight, are effectively forced out the kingdom, which is kind of harsh for a mobile game. I mean, games should be fun. People should be allowed to not fight if they don't want to. But sadly, Rise of Kingdoms doesn't work that way. If people in your kingdom have a lot of power but don't fancy fighting, you're going to be matched against really hard kingdoms where they've been working really hard to get rid of the players who have power and don't fight. And you're probably going to lose that. And when you lose, people lose heart, people want to migrate out, and jumper projects fall apart. So we've got this weird dichotomy now, where jumper projects, they start really effectively in KVK1, they'll usually smash it, and then they think, we have 400 players too many, let's start setting requirements and getting rid of them. And I don't really see how this changes with, as 1093 say, the current Imperium and Autarch system, where there's no real benefit to being in an Imperium kingdom. There's no difference in rewards between Imperium KVK and a DC'd KVK, just so you know. Like, the exact rewards you get are exactly the same. If you want your kingdom to be in DC'd, because, well, you fight against weaker opponents. If you fight against weaker opponents, you're probably going to do better. Of course, you yourself are a weaker kingdom, but if you've cultivated a place where everyone's got really logical power, like 80 million or so, and has like 5 billion kill points, old accounts who've been fighting a while, you're probably going to do well against the accounts of 100 million power players with 700 million kill points over 6 KVKs, because logic dictates they don't do much fighting, they do much growing, whereas your kingdom will do a lot of fighting, and therefore you have a great chance of winning. Whereas if you just race to Imperium, if you say to everyone, yep, more the merrier, come on in, power up, you'll probably play against 1093 or 1960. And I know from watching a lot of streams and never playing against them myself, thankfully, if you play against those guys, you're probably not going to win. And that's winning's less fun than, sorry, losing is a lot less fun than winning. So it's better to win in CC than lose in Imperium to most people. So what's the answer? Are jumper projects still good in Rise of Kingdoms? Well, I think it's a yes and no answer. In a typical university essay cop-out, I think they are very good from an individual account standpoint when you are starting off your Rise of Kingdoms journey. Whether or not this is the 8th time you've restarted an account, whether or not this is your first time and you've looked into the game a little bit more, you're going to end up being in an alliance that is probably the top 1 or top 2 in the kingdom. And you're thus going to get a lot more gold chests, which are huge for initial growth. So I think from an individual account perspective, they're still the best way to go. However, from a kingdom perspective, I really don't think they are anymore. They basically guarantee that within a year, everyone's going to be in the position where the kingdom's got too high a power for the fighting prowess it actually has. Because, of course, everyone's got their same season accounts in the jumper projects. A 70 million power account with 365 days on this game gets absolutely smashed by a 70 million account with 1,500 days on the game. But in matchmaking, they count for exactly the same amount of power. Why do they get smashed? Well, older accounts have better equipment, better commanders, maybe not better armors, but better equipments. The be-all and end-all, really. Equipment dictates in this game. 2 ways to get ahead in Rise of Kingdoms: time and money. Time and money is the best combination together. So these big jumper kingdoms, when they get to KVK 3 or 4, they tend to do all right. But when they get to KVK 5, and suddenly they've got, I don't know, 21, well, that's a bit much, 18 billion kingdom power, they're going to be matched against a kingdom which has been going for 2-3 years longer with the same power. Basically, all their same season players are going to get run over unless they are huge whales, or unless they have had the logical idea to buy an account, which is why so many people buy accounts. They start accounts in jumper alliances. They see from KVK2 onwards how much better cross-season accounts are, and they think, yeah, you know what, I'll just bring my cross-season account here. And that can work. If you get 100 people buying big cross-season accounts and bringing them back, yeah, the kingdom's going to be strong. But that's a huge problem for either free-to-play players or the bulk of the players who are low spenders, who perhaps don't have 4 figures to throw at an account, or perhaps don't want to. They like setting up an account themselves. And the jumper kingdoms getting stronger and stronger and stronger means that their experience of fighting is going to be quite a negative one from KVK 5 onwards. I don't really know the solution to this from a big Rise of Kingdoms perspective. If it continues as it's going, and it's more of an unsustainable race to the bottom, it's more about culling power than for matchmaking benefits rather than just growing power and gaining the strongest kingdom you can get, well, then jumper accounts probably don't have much, jumper alliances probably don't have much long-term viability. You see so many people from old jumper projects either starting 20 new ones, like I'm sure so many of you in Discords where you just get pinged, I'm starting a new jumper project, I'm starting a new jumper project, and you think, didn't you start one 3 months ago? And didn't you start one 3 months before that? Maybe either you're not great at this, or there's something to be said for not joining your jumper project. Or you have a group of 50 people from a previous jumper project thinking, yeah, we can't be doing this anymore. This kingdom's far too powerful for our communal power level. Let's migrate together to another kingdom. And that is a viable strategy, but it's kind of a stinging indictment of the existing matchmaking system, where kingdoms really can't compete long term with the older, more established, better kingdoms if they follow this strong initial power game jumper project. Because let me tell you, once you've got some players in the kingdom and you want them to migrate and they don't want to migrate, yeah, you can zero them, but they're still there. They still have 55 million power going towards your matchmaking. They could still be a rogue. They can still be really annoying. You can't physically make anyone migrate. You can incentivize them to do so very strongly, but you can't make them buy passports, spend alliance credits, and join somewhere else. And that's quite frustrating. And it leads to a lot of jumper projects doing really well for a while, but after about 150 days, just running out of steam, running out of emphasis. So also very hard to maintain the 2 alliance high spender thing after KVK1, because you get loads of migrants in. If you're a big migrant, you kind of want to go in the alliance that's got the most power, that's got the most gold chests, that's got the biggest fighters for obvious reasons. Then the people in the second alliance get disenfranchised, play less, etc., etc. It's a vicious circle, I'd say. That being said, I still do think joining a jumper alliance, if you're coming back to the game, if you're new to the game, or you're starting again, is probably the best way to go. For KVK1 at least, you're probably going to get a good win. You'll get a load of gold chests, you'll get people who know what they're doing and can fight in murder balls with a decent amount of effectiveness. It's going to be better for your account than joining, I don't know, one of the million alliances that gets set up in a new kingdom. Here we go. So many jumpers, you'll see this at the beginning of any kingdom, they tend to be a little better managed, well, a lot better managed than the accounts and alliances that start in the kingdom. Because older players know that jumping is better, so therefore they want to join jumper alliances, whereas newer players just like, understandably, want to join an alliance in a kingdom. Why wouldn't you? It's completely normal. So it still is a good thing to do. I just think long term, as this race to the bottom I keep going back to dictates, jumper projects just feel like they haven't got the legs they used to. You can't get to the top level with a good jumper project anymore. You'll get to a good level and then you'll think, we have to kill so many people to get to the next level or to get our seeding down. It's better off to just go to a new kingdom. So on the big macro perspective, jumper projects, I worry about their future. But if you're starting a new account, get right involved. There's a load of good ones on Discord. You can usually find them in game as well. Anyway, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed my analysis of jumper accounts. Let me know if you disagree, agree in the comments below. And as I said earlier, if you're looking for more intro about how to do a jumper or sleeper account, I'll leave a link to Mr. Logic Bank in the description. He is far better than me at most things, especially this. Thanks very much for watching, and may your new account jump well.